What's up, guys? Matt Brown here for thelines.com, playpicks.com, and it is finally here. The NFL season is upon us, and we are coming into Thursday night football. As you see right here on your screen at thelines.com, we have a full betting preview of the Chiefs and the Texans as they kick off our season here in 2020, the weirdest of seasons here in 2020. Guys, before we get going here, we really do appreciate it if you guys go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the little bell so you get notified. Go ahead, give us a thumbs up as well, and then let us know in the comments how you are going to be playing this game. How are you betting the opening game of the NFL season? Everything we do is for free, guys, so really do appreciate the support and you following along here. We'll have breakdowns of all the games, everything that we can possibly do to help make you some money over this NFL season. So let's take a look here. If you take a look at the written breakdown, you can kind of go in and get some insights. You can look at how these teams look last year and all of that. And I mean, guys, really, let's just cut to the chase here. Really weird season. No preseason games to judge anything off of at all. These teams have been very secretive about a lot of stuff, and rightfully so. Look, I mean, if they don't have to share, they're heading in. They don't want teams to be able to get scouting reports on them. They don't want to know they don't want them to know what's going on. And so I get it. But as we head into this season, if anybody tells you they know exactly what's going on here, they're a liar. So you should not be following that person if they're going to sit there and tell you they know exactly what's going on here. What we do know is as we get going here, we are sitting here at DraftKings. Chiefs are a 9-point favorite over here on FanDuel. If we click on this, you will see a 9.5-point favorite here. So there is a difference between these two books. Over at BetMGM, 9.5 as well. So 9.5 at both FanDuel and BetMGM. It is at 9 over here over on DraftKings. And you can see if you do want to bet the Chiefs at 9, paying a little bit of juice there at 112. This thing opened at 10 here at DraftKings, briefly went to 8.5 as we sit right now at 9 the morning of kickoff here. On the total, guys, you're going to see we are going to have a couple of a little bit of a discrepancy here. 54.5 here at DraftKings. Over here, it's kind of weird how they line things up on BetMGM, but you can see when we get to the 110 on both sides, they're actually at 55. So we're at 54.5 over here on DraftKings, 55 over here on BetMGM, but then look, 53.5 over here on FanDuel. Now, if you want the over, you are going to have to pay a little bit of juice, minus 115 right here, but depends on how much you value that point and how much the juice really matters to you when you're making that bet. But 53.5 over here at FanDuel, 54.5 over here at DraftKings, and then, of course, 55 over here at BetMGM. Now, they do give you the option to bet all these different lines here, and you can take a look at those as well as you get going. As far as the money line goes, if you're looking to bet the favorite in this one, minus 455 plus 350 over here on the Texans. If you want to do that, we're looking at 430, 340 here over on FanDuel, and then 435 and 330. So if you do want to take plus money, if you think there's an upset brewing here on the Texans side, you're going to want to head over to BetMGM where you're getting the plus 350, the most favorable odds that you're going to get here. You can see these bet boosts that are going to be going on, and that's going to be pretty normal here, especially on opening day. You can see Mahomes to get over 300 passing yards. So just kind of click through here. If you're playing at BetMGM, if you're playing it at DraftKings, they have promos that are running as well. You can actually get, you see right here, the Chiefs at plus 101 points. So that's kind of the thing that they're running as far as promos goes, and there'll be promos over here on FanDuel as well that'll run on game day. So be sure and take advantage of those. And guys, if you're not already at all of these books, just come over here to the lines and on U.S. sports betting, find your state, click on your state. We have the best sign-up deals that are offered, free money deals as well, all that stuff like that. So be sure and take advantage of that. Now, whenever we do look at this total here, guys, let's just, this thing opened at 55 at DraftKings. It settled down here at 54.5 as we have right now. 2 meetings between these teams last year. 55 was the total in the first meeting. 82 was the total in the second meeting between these two teams. if that has anything, kind of how you want this to play into your handicapping of this game. I mean, look, if we take a look at really what happened in the offseason here for the Chiefs, first round pick on Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So they went out, they got a stud running back, a pass-catching running back, someone that can just help with that explosive offense. They did go out and get a linebacker in round 2 in Willie Gay, but he's going to be a backup anyway, as it is. So not a ton of change in personnel for this Chiefs team. And listen, why, I guess, at the end of the day? I mean, they could have maybe upgraded the defense just a little bit. It was one of if there was an Achilles heel to this team at all, it was the defense at times. Of course, the offense, one of the greatest offenses we've seen, probably will be one of the greatest offenses we've seen this year as well. But there was at times last year definitely some holes that could be had on the defensive side of the ball, specifically on their run defense. On the Texans side of the ball, they didn't have a first-round pick this year at all. They did get a defensive tackle in the second round, but really they made all their splashes in trades and signings, right? So they traded for Brandon Cooks, traded for David Johnson, signed Randall Cobb, signed safety Eric Murray, who's going to start for them as well. So that's really where they made their kind of hay here in the offseason, was through kind of acquisitions and trades. Another big news article from this, we won't know the injury report fully. And again, everyone's kind of being really hush-hush with all this stuff. So not going to know that until 90 minutes before kickoff. So be sure and pay attention to that with the inactives when they get going. But we do know that the Chiefs corner Bashaud Breeland, one of the very top-ranked corners in all of Pro Football Focus's ratings last year, is suspended until week 5 of this year. Again, if there was an Achilles heel at all for this Chiefs team, it was on the defensive side of the ball at times. And even though the pass defense was pretty good, losing Bashaud Breeland is a very, very, very big hit for that Chiefs defense as well. So, of course, the big loss, of course, on the Texan side as well, Deshaun Watson out of town. He was part of one of those trades as well. I mean, you're looking at Deshaun Watson targeted he targeted DeAndre Hopkins at least 7 times in every single game last year that they played together, as many times as 14 times targeted him in games. So, one of his very favorite receivers, he is out of town now. So let's kind of break this down and how I'm going to go about betting this game, guys. I'm going to pass on the point spread here. Unless this thing reaches double digits, if this thing does finally make it back to 10, if it does make it back to 10, I might have a small play on the Texans. The double digit there, getting the push equity on the 10 as well, greatly increasing the push equity, as you know, 10 being kind of one of those, it is a key number, one of those secondary key numbers. We're really looking for 3s and 7s, but 10 being a key number as well. So I'll hold out. If it doesn't get there, maybe I get it in game or something like that, but won't be a side play for me on this one unless this thing gets to 10 before kickoff, which it very well might. Look, the Chiefs, as we get closer to kickoff, the Chiefs money might start pouring in because people get all excited about wanting to bet and wanting to get involved on the Chiefs side. I mean, they are a sexy team. Patrick Mahomes, obviously, Tyreek Hill, all the speed, everything that's going on there. So maybe this thing does eventually get back to 10. So if that's the case, that's what I'll be looking for. But until then, no play for me on the side. I do, in fact, have a play on the total, and I bet the over in this game. What we are looking at here is 2 extremely high-powered offenses, and I actually believe that the Texans offense is getting downgraded a little bit too much because of the loss of DeAndre Hopkins. Now, I understand how good DeAndre Hopkins is. Do not get me wrong. But listen, we're heading into a season here where Will Fuller is healthy. They did sign Randall Cobb. Now, there is a little bit of a question mark around Brandon Cooks as to how effective he is going to be here in game 1. Apparently, rumors, a little bit of a quad issue going on with him. But again, we don't really know the full extent of all that. So we just have to assume he's going to play as we record this anyway. So Brandon Cooks, I really do like what they have on offense here. Deshaun Watson, obviously an amazing quarterback. You add in David Johnson. I am not of the camp that thinks that David Johnson is totally washed in this. And so for me, I'll go ahead and play the over here at the reduced juice of 54.5. I'm I have a little bit bigger bankroll, so the juice means a little bit more to me, a little bit higher the betting amount. So I'm okay playing the over of the 54.5 here and being able to pay the reduced juice of 107. If you feel a little bit more comfortable taking the full point and you want to pay a little bit more extra juice, I understand everyone's bankrolls and risk tolerance is not the same. So if you want to do that, but I'm okay playing the over here at 54.5 with the reduced 107 juice at DraftKings. This game, I believe, is going to be a shootout. I see both of these offenses moving the ball up and down the field on the others. As we mentioned, there is Bashaud Breeland being out is a big boost to the pass offense for the Texans. And then listen, it's Patrick Mahomes, it's Tyreek Hill, it's Travis Kelce, it's Sammy Watkins, everybody. Mecole Hardman here in year 2. Does he take a big step? I mean, guy kind of silently had just under 600 yards as a rookie. And I think he does take a little bit of a second-year leap here. So maybe becomes a little bit bigger part of that offense. You add in Clyde Edwards-Helaire as well. They're going to move the ball. They're going to score. I like the over in this game. Already a bet that's in my account here. I mean, you look at this Texans defense. They didn't really do all that much to improve at all. J.J. Watt should be able to be neutralized in this game by some of the elite offensive linemen that they have there on this team. I mean, you're looking at a team here that had 29th in sack rate. We're talking about the Texans here, 22nd in quarterback hit rate. You give Patrick Mahomes time to sit in the pocket, you're going to pay for that, which is also why you're going to find me here whenever we look at these player props on the over for Patrick Mahomes on his passing yard total here at 305.5. Not a huge play on this one, but I do believe he goes over 300 yards in this game. Really like Patrick Mahomes to kind of have his way with this team. If we look over here on FanDuel, this is actually where you're going to want to play this. You're getting 4 extra yards compared to over here at DraftKings, where we're looking at 305. You're getting 301 over here on FanDuel. So taking the over here on FanDuel is how I'm going to be playing Patrick Mahomes. The other thing I'm going to be looking at, which is a play that I kind of smashed over and over and over again, and you can see apparently a lot of people did as well, as this juice has now gotten out of control, is David Johnson over the 45.5 yards. One of the things you can do is move the ball on the ground against this Chiefs defense. And the other thing, what happens if you do get to move the ball on the ground? You get to kind of burn the clock a little bit and if anything, keep Patrick Mahomes off the field, right? I mean, I think that they're going to try to do that a little bit as well. But more than anything, I just think that they'll have a fairly decent amount of David Johnson here. Whenever you look at this total at 45.5, and we can kind of go over here and try to find some of these other numbers and see if there's anything better whenever we hit the player prop numbers. David Johnson's at 48.5 over here, but you can see the 3 extra yards, but you don't have to pay the absurd juice here. I actually have him projected more closer to just under 60. So if we're talking here, I have him projected between 14 and 16 carries. Between 14 and 16 carries, if you're looking at, let's call it even 3.5 yards a carry at 14 carries, right? 3.5 yards a carry is still 49 yards. 3.5 yards a carry is bad. That is not good by any sort of NFL standard. So if David Johnson gets the amount of carries that I think he's going to get, he probably will average higher than 3.5 yards a carry. That still gets us over this 48.5 yard number right here, even if he's at the 3.5. If he's getting us 3.7, 3.8, 4 yards a carry, then we're well over the 48.5 here on David Johnson. You can see the 45.5 got smashed over here on DraftKings. When I looked this morning, this thing was at 130 on the juice, and so is already up to 167 here. So I do like the over on David Johnson. They signed him. He's got a big contract. They're going to run him. Duke Johnson's going to be on the field on third down, but I still think you can confidently project him for 14 to 16 carries in this game, and that's why I really do like the over on David Johnson and his rushing yards here. The only other bet that I do have in my account is just anytime scorer, and whenever you kind of take a look at the anytime scores up here, you just go to player props. It'll say touchdown scorer, and it'll just say to score at all. Again, I understand if you don't want to lay the juice here, but Clyde's going to score in this game. I mean, if I believe in the over in this game, if I believe that the Chiefs are going to score a bunch of points in this game, the guy that they just signed, whenever they get down close, Clyde is going to score in this game. The only other kind of correlated play is if you are on the Chiefs to cover as well, and if you think this game could get out of hand, if you think this game could get out of control, maybe even taking a Darrell Williams anytime score here and getting the plus 260, maybe for a little bit of a smaller stake. But let's imagine what happens here, right? If this game does get out of control, Clyde will probably then find his way to the sideline. Darrell Williams has won the number 2 running back role there for this team, and would not surprise me at all to see him get in the end zone as well, if you believe in that narrative as to how the game is going to go, if you believe that the Chiefs are going to be ahead in this game a lot, rolling and absolutely controlling the game. Getting a Darrell Williams anytime score as well does pay off here at plus 260 as well. But guys, end of the day, on the over here in this one, on the over David Johnson rushing yards over at FanDuel of 48.5, and over Patrick Mahomes passing yards at FanDuel as well at 301.5. Really do expect these offenses to do well. Have a slight lean to even Deshaun Watson over passing yards as well. That's not in my account just yet, but I do at least have a slight lean to that. Might end up making it into the account as well as I dig in a little bit further. So I can't be more excited. I could not possibly be more excited about the NFL season being here, guys. Could not be more excited about what we have going on over at the lines as well. So be sure, if you don't have any of the sportsbook offers, go under U.S. Sports Betting, click on your state. You'll get that. If you hit odds, we have a really great odds feed as well, where you can compare the various legal books in the different states. We've made a bunch of upgrades over here to the site, so be sure and check out all of those things as well. Hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up on that thing, and then let me know in the comments, how are you betting the first game of the 2020 NFL season? Good luck, everybody, on your bets.